Bucknutters, welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, August 21st, 2015. I am Dave Biddle, and I am joined by the Dean of Ohio State football recruiting, Bill Kurelic. Bill, defensive tackle Antwuan Jackson is a name that all Buckeye fans are curious about right now. He is not going to make a decision today. Our Alex Gleitman had a VIP bolt about this yesterday. Antwuan Jackson is expected to make his decision in the next couple of months. According to Alex's sources, it's a toss-up between Ohio State and Auburn. Give us some insights. Do you agree it's a toss-up between Ohio State and Auburn? Just give us the intel on Antwuan Jackson.
Well, I've had a pretty good, I guess you'd say, dialogue with Antwuan for quite some time. He's always been really good as far as picking up the phone and talking with me and so on and so forth. And, I've never really got the feeling, I know there's been a lot of information out there, a lot of rumors and so on and so forth that he's going to, at one point it was on our message board posted that he was going to decide a week ago, Thursday, possibly. Then he was going to decide and announce that weekend. Of course, those things didn't happen. Then he was going to decide maybe this weekend on Friday, today, and obviously he said he's not going to do that now. I always try to go as much as possible by what the prospects tell me, and Antwuan has said to me all along he wants to at least take a couple official visits, so I'm not at all surprised that he is going to wait at least a while to decide, and I really tend to think that he will take at least a couple official visits before he decides. I expect him to visit Ohio State. I'll be a little surprised if he doesn't, and I expect him to visit Auburn. And then once he gets a couple official visits under his belt, I think the decision will likely come in. Now, does that mean he couldn't change his mind? Certainly not, but that's what he has told me all along. And interestingly, unfortunately, he and I haven't had a lot of dialogue in the last week or so. He texted me yesterday morning and told me that he's having a lot of problems with his phone and so on and so forth. And, hopefully he gets that cleared up, and I'll be talking with him again soon. But, yeah, I think he probably will take a couple visits. He'll decide. I think it is very, very close right now between Ohio State and Auburn. And I think that's part of the reason he hasn't made a decision. He's not sure right now, and he wants to, in all likelihood, take a couple official visits and hopefully lock down in his mind where he wants to go.
The Buckeyes have been on lockdown this week as far as practice. They're going to have a scrimmage tomorrow, and we're going to talk to head coach Urban Meyer after the scrimmage around 11 a.m. So they're going to get going probably 9:30 a.m. And I know, Bill, there's going to be a big-time offensive tackle in attendance at the scrimmage tomorrow. Tell the listeners about that.
Well, that is Tony Gray, an offensive lineman out of Georgia, and one of the country's top 2017 offensive tackles. He's very excited, I might add, about coming up here to Ohio State and making this visit. In fact, he's got plenty of company that's going to be with him. His mother is going to be with him, and by the way, she's very excited, too, about making this visit. But his mother is going to be with him. Several other family members are going to be with him. And then, interestingly, he's bringing a lot of his teammates. He's bringing about 8 or 9 young players with him, not players that are necessarily being recruited yet by a school like Ohio State, but players that he hopes to help and kind of show, well, this is what can happen if you work hard. So it's going to be a large contingent of prospects visiting Ohio State this weekend with Tony. But Tony's the main guy. He's out of Central Gwinnett High School in Lawrenceville, Georgia, 6'5", about 270 pounds, and the number 14 prospect in the state of Georgia, the country's number 18 offensive tackle, and he is very excited. He's got an Ohio State scholarship offer, along with Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Clemson, many others. So he is planning to leave and be on the Ohio State campus tomorrow, as you mentioned, to watch the practice scrimmage.
That's great news. He's bringing his family with him. That's always a good sign. Let's switch gears and talk about the black stripe. I know you're on black stripe removal watch, as am I. 3 players have gotten their black stripe removed, but none in the recent days. Isaiah Prince was first, Mike Weber was second, KJ Hill was third. It was kind of seemed like it was coming almost every day we were getting a new one there. It seems like for those 3 days, and we haven't had anything since then. Now maybe guys have gotten their black stripe removed. They're not going to announce it until tomorrow since they've been on lockdown this week. Who knows? Usually, as you mentioned, Urban Meyer will throw something up there on Twitter. It's good publicity for the program. Let's just throw some names out there. Who do you think might be next to lose their black stripe, Bill?
One of the things that's interesting is so far the last three players to commit, and then, of course, they signed with Ohio State, were the first three to have their black stripe removed. If you go back to National Signing Day, and right before, there was a lot of intrigue as to what was going to happen with Mike Weber, and then, of course, Isaiah Prince, and didn't know about KJ Hill, and those were the last three in the class, and those were the first three to have their stripes removed. I think that's a little bit ironic, but I think they're all going to be outstanding players for Ohio State. I think Isaiah Prince has got a great future. He was one that I was really excited about as far as Buckeye Nation when he announced he was going to Ohio State. I think he's going to be an outstanding offensive tackle for the Buckeyes. But as far as who's next, that's hard to say. I mean, I don't know that in fact, I know there's not a huge correlation between the black stripe being removed and who gets to see playing time quickly for Ohio State. But nonetheless, it's something that all the freshmen want to do is get that black stripe removed. I guess if I was going to pick somebody, I'd maybe go with the Torrance Gibson. We've heard practices, of course, as you mentioned, locked down, but we've heard about the great things that he has done and the team first type attitude he's shown, that he wants to get on the field and help the team, so he's switched positions from quarterback to wide receiver. So I certainly think that with all those things in mind, he'd be certainly a candidate to maybe be the next one removed.
And Bill, you have debuted a new feature for our subscribers called Kurelic's Corner. Tell the listeners about Kurelic's Corner and tell them what they can find in Kurelic's Corner today.
Well, it's for one thing, it's a name change. I've been doing my buzz for a couple of years now on the night before, so to speak. So if my buzz was for Friday morning, which the one I have up now today is, then I released that on Thursday night. But I just changed the name to Kurelic's Corner from my Kurelic, Ohio State tidbits, rumors, tidbits, etc. That's what it was originally called. Just changed it to Kurelic's Corner. But I've also, more importantly, added a day of the week. I will now also be doing, on many weeks, one more extra day of Kurelic's Corner. So that's probably the biggest thing. And then the other thing I changed a little bit is that on occasion I'm going to go back and put one of the items in there about something in the past. I've been doing this for 28 years, and I found that our readers like to read kind of some old-time recruiting stories, so to speak. What happened with an Andy Katzenmoyer, for instance, or just tidbits about recruiting going back a long way. So I've now added that as well to put something in there at times. And as far as what's on there today, it starts with a great running back prospect not a lot of people are talking much about. A 2017 running back named Trey Sermon, who was outstanding at Friday Night Lights. He added a scholarship offer from the Buckeyes right after his performance, and he is very interested in Ohio State. He's a class of 2017, so he would be behind, so to speak, Kareem Walker, and certainly Ohio State wants to add a great running back in their 2017 class, and he certainly is a candidate to be that guy.
Great stuff out of the Dean of Ohio State football recruiting, Bill Kurelic. And thanks to the listeners out there for tuning into the show. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day and a great weekend. Take it away, Best Damn Band in the